what contributes to the development of a sex addiction. So we're going to kind of touch on 3 different areas in particular: trauma and abuse, biology, neuroscience, sexual conditioning, and family dynamics and attachment. We have research in all 3 of these areas, so I'm going to kind of share a little bit about that with you. So trauma. This is from a study that Pat did, one of the original studies in Don't Call It Love. He found with his sex-addicted population extremely high rates of trauma. He had 72% had physical abuse, 81% sexual abuse, 97% had experienced emotional abuse. And we see this ongoing in the literature regularly. So this was just another study. This is Eli Coleman. He comes from a compulsivity model. He said, compulsive sexual behavior has been strongly linked to early childhood trauma or abuse, highly restricted environments regarding sexuality, dysfunctional attitudes about sex and intimacy, low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. Here's another one, another quote from the literature. Sexual addiction is strongly anchored in shame and trauma. Research conducted over the last 15 years has consistently shown the prevalence of emotional, physical, and sexual abuse in this population. And this was just a few more recent studies found that 39% of gay and bisexual men had experienced sexual abuse. These are largely consistent with previous findings of samples with compulsive sexual behavior, and they reported that childhood sexual abuse was uniquely associated with maladaptive sexual behavior in the previous literature supporting childhood abuse as a possible etiological factor in compulsive sexual behavior development. So there's been a lot of studies on this, and we know that this trauma contributes to the development. When children are traumatized, they feel they're being treated as though they're worth less. They internalize that they're worth less. They internalize that shame, and then they medicate it. And so it's just a progression that happens over time.